break out of that consolidation. So that's where market timing comes into play. We're going to go over market timing here as well in the next few examples here. So those are rejections in zones. We're going to go over rejections in zones. Someone told me that rejections in zones and continuation through zones are two very important topics. Okay, when candles are not able to break through a zone, 70 to 80% of the time, they will go the opposite way, right? So now let's look what's happening over here, right? You have a candle coming down right here, and it's starting to form this weak bearish candle with a long wick, right? Because the previous one was strong bearish candle. It's starting to form this weak bearish candle with a long wick. But if you look further, now you see that the next candle is trying to reject this zone here. You see this price area? So maybe this price area is a very important price level because you're looking at the 30-minute time frame, right? So now you can expect to say that, okay, you know what? Maybe we could see a move up, but you need a stronger candle confirmation. So let's take a look here. Let's go next. See, what about now? We still don't have any confirmation. There's no confirmation yet. Sometimes you get confirmations, sometimes you don't get confirmations, but that's just how the price moves. So let's look at the next one. See this? Now you have a nice confirmation. Makes sense? Because now you have a candle that's rejecting this area, and you waited enough to see what you want to see. So you saw a bullish candle. So now you can turn around and say, okay, you know what? Raja Bank said that when you have a bullish candle at support, you can have a stop below support, below the previous 30-minute candle, and expect the next candle to move up. Make sense? That's right, right? But how often will this work? That's what you got to ask yourself. How often will this work? Because if you are going to go with the strategy, you need to know how this will work 70 to 60% of the time. And that's the edge you need in the market to be profitable, right? And then there is 30% of the time it will not work. But that's just a part of the plan. 30% of the time, it may just not work. So let's say you do take a trade here. Let's say you take a buy with a stop below 30-minute candle, because in the previous examples, we've seen it work. So it should work here now too, right? So let's remove this next candle and see what we got. Oh, look what happened. The next candle came down, stopped you out. But then here's the thing. Here's what, what's this? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what happened. The next candle stopped you out, right? So as it's stopping you out, as it's going down, as a retail trader, as you got stopped out, you're thinking, oh my God, we are going down. Because number one, candle is moving down right now. Let me just draw this candle here. Let's see here. Okay, so this is how it's forming, right? The candle is moving down right now. And you're like, oh, we're going down. Take some sells. You take sells. But as you're a new trader, you realize that, oh, fuck, okay, the 30-minute candle hasn't closed yet. But if you are if you're a mature trader, you're thinking, okay, you know what? It's moving down. I'm probably going to wait for this candle to close, the 30-minute candle to close, right? So what happened? You wait for the candle to close, and look where it closes. It closes above the support zone. Does this make sense? It's still closing above the support zone. Yeah, and then you waited for the next candle to close, and it's still closing above, so this means that it couldn't break down. If it couldn't break down, it's supposed to go up. This price action is really messy because you got wicks to the downside, you got wicks to the upside, you got some big moves, you got some, malnutrition move over here. So the point we're trying to make is you have to wait for candles to close when they are near the zone. So you enter in buy here again. It depends on what the 15-minute is saying. Because essentially, if you're trying to enter buys, your target is this high right over here, this high here. This is your target because price made a high, price went down and formed support. So if it forms support, 70 to 80% of the time, it should go back up to retest that high. Make sense? Yeah, so after a loss, I say always wait for candles to close, the 30-minute or the 1 hour for it to close, because on average, you need an hour for your emotions to just die down. If you took that loss, Raja, would you personally walk away since you closed back in the range? Would you consider entering? I would consider entering again. Yeah, I would consider entering again, because I would still say, because I normally give myself 2 chances in a trade. 2 chances. Because if this is support, I got stopped out from this candle, but then if the candle closed above support anyway, and then the next candle closed above support, so now I have waited 1 hour. Look at these 2 candles. These are 2 30-minute candles. So 30 plus 30 is 1 hour. So I waited 1 hour for them to close, and I realized, okay, you know what? We still got to go to this high because we couldn't close below this support. Right? So there's still a chance to take buys and go up to this high. So I'll give myself 2 chances in 1 trade idea. What is the time of that candle? This candle that went down is around 8:30 a.m. Right? So 8:30 a.m. Eastern, that's like around New York session. So if you look, we had the pre-New York move down at like 6 a.m. We had consolidation till like 8. And then as 9 a.m. came in, this is New York Open and New York Equities Open, we again had volume in the market and price started to move back in momentum. Yeah, it could be the news because it's 8:30. It's 8:30, so it could be news because normally U.S. news comes at 8:30. Wouldn't that be a break and retest? Retest right at the bullish candle? Which one? This one? Or this one? Down here? Up here? Down here? Which one? Yeah, that one. Which one? Up here or down here? Down. This one? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I'm not focusing on break and retest. I'm just focusing on like how rejections are made in zones and how you can, like, you know, try to anticipate moves. Rejections in zones. But we're going to go over break and retests too. Would that thing work on the higher time frame? Yes. Candles move the same way in all time frames. In all time frames. And every situation is different. So after these webinars, what we're going to do is, like, from next week, I would anticipate everyone to post charts so that we can get better at our analysis. All right, let's look at the next one. Price is starting to go up, like, you know. So what's happening now is you see this bearish candle, but it's not really breaking down, right? So basically now you're seeing that, okay, now price is starting to consolidate, right? Let's look at it right here. So price is basically starting to consolidate, right? So you keep waiting. You go to the next candle, you see a bearish candle right over here, and then you see bullish one. So the good thing to notice is, like, see how these candles, they're closing. They're not really closing strong bullish or strong bearish. Make sense? It's not happening like that. And now you see this one here. So now this candle is really interesting, because now when you're looking at this candle, you see this candle as the bearish candle, which closed below this candle. It closed below this candle. It closed below this candle. It closed below this candle, right? So this bearish candle, man, this closed below 1, 2, 3, 4 4-hour candles, and it formed all this big range, right? It formed all this big range. And now when you're saying, okay, your bias is down, you're looking left to see, okay, where can we head off to? Maybe we can head off to down here because, you know, we had to move up here. So maybe we can head off to down here. And go next one, and then see it close down and came back down. And then you're looking left to see where is it headed. And it's heading here. So now the idea of being fluid is that once you see that we are approaching support, the worst thing you can do is keep holding the trade. That's the worst thing you can do, because when price is approaching support and it's a 1 hour support or above, you better believe that that shit's gonna bounce off from that support. So when it reaches support, you're clever, you're sharp, you see it approaching support, you take profits. Or if you don't want to take profits, you take profits on some positions, and then you put stop loss at break even, because hey, you know what? If it starts to go down, that's bonus clips. But when it comes to support, you identify it and then you exit the trade. Makes sense? But the key here is to notice that how this bearish candle closed. It closed stronger than this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. So this motherfucking candle closed. This is what we call like a gladiator candle. It closed below than all of these candles to the left. Because price went up, it started to consolidate, and basically price is just waiting for just one candle to close above or below than all the other candles. Make sense? So now let's see what happens next, because we took profits at the support here. See, now we had another bearish, and now look what happened. What's happening now? You waited for this candle to fill the wick, whatever, and now since you were already out of the trade, you see this as support. Now you're just waiting. You see this 1 hour candle, it formed bullish. So now what does this tell you? That it's starting to form some sort of a support. Because if the 1 hour candle is rejecting a price, look at this, man. This closed over here. It rejected this price. You had a bearish candle closed down here, and then you have a bullish candle rejecting the same price, but it closed bullish. It closed above the previous candle. Sense? So you're constantly looking at where candles are closing. Constantly. That's what I'm constantly looking at. That's why it's important to wait for candles to close. Because, man, trust me, like I know what you're thinking, that if this bearish candle went down, and when this candle was going bearish, let's say like this, right? So it's like this. So you're thinking, okay, it's going down, it's going down further. But as a new trader, what you are not looking at is that you're not looking at what's happening to the left. Look at this, man. 1 hour candle, 1 hour created a support here too, which is why when this current 1 hour candle was heading down, it rejected it. And if you're a veteran trader, you know that, okay, you know what? It's coming down this area. I'm going to be fluid. I'm going to wait to see what price does when it comes down here. And it closed bullish. It rejected it. And you understand, okay, you know what? Perfect. Now it's starting to go up possibly. Hope this example made some sort of sense and cleared up some issues people might have. Oh, we have 105 people there. Yeah, the limit is 600. Tell everybody to join. Yeah, it's very elementary, but it's like, it's so simple that I don't know why people don't take note of this. It's so simple, right? Because, like, you know, when you come to trading, you think, oh, you know, it's got to be hard, it's got to be complex, it's got to be some rocket science. But it's very, very, very simple. You're only looking at candles, man. Like, price only, man, trust me, price only goes up or it goes down. That's it. You know, or it goes sideways. Imagine price went diagonally, and then price went this way, and price went this way and this way, and went sideways and up and down. Man, no, like, everyone's going to be fucked if price went this way. You know? So you just got to wait to see if support and resistances are being made, and where can price potentially go. That's it. Okay. So simple. There's just so many things going on that the simple things slip your mind. Exactly. So you just got to keep things very simple, because the only way you confuse yourself is when price is ranging or when you start to look at the small time frames. That's the only way you will confuse yourself, especially when price is ranging. So let's go to the next example here. All right. So you can see the candle here is moving up, but what's important to note here as well is that look at this range here. Look at this support. Price formed bullish. Next candle moved up. So now we had this bearish candle forming, right? This could be like a retest. So now look at this. We had this retest. Price created support. But has price moved up? Has price broken this resistance? Right? Even though this bullish candle formed bullish with no wick. So now here's an interesting thing about where would you enter on this example? I wouldn't enter right now. So here's an interesting thing about candles with no wicks. I hope people can take some notes on this. When a candle forms with no wick, let's say it has a wick to the bottom and this is a bullish candle, it doesn't have a wick to the top. If a candle doesn't have a wick to the top, this means that it hasn't really went in those prices, because to the left they're like prices, right? Which this means price hasn't really formed a range for the next candle to go up there. Makes sense? So when there's no wick to the top, I generally say, you know what? I don't want to fuck around with that candle, because when there's no wick to the top, it means that most often than not, price is going to move the opposite way. Right? Because let's take a look right over here too. See, candle formed bullish, no wick. This means no range to go up. Next one went down. Right? Same thing happening here. Very tiny wick, no range. Next candle went down. Same thing happened here on this bullish candle as well. Right? But now we're like trying to consolidate. And now we're starting to move down. So now you can anticipate that, okay, maybe we can move down to the support, or we can continue to go bullish. So you're just keeping in mind that, okay, when is price ranging? Because when price starts to range after there's momentum, then that's the point where you're just silently waiting to see when it's going to break. When it's going to break the support, or when it's going to break resistance too. Because let's say if you miss this move down, right? Let's say if you miss this move down, and then you have, so this is the 1 hour time frame, so you're waiting for this candle to closes bearish, and then the next candle closes bullish, and then the candle after that closes bearish. So now you know that 1 hour candles have formed resistance, right? And when you look left, this is GJ. So, and you're looking at the price, let's say this is 147.350, and then support is down over here, which is 147.100. So 350 minus 100 is what? 250, 25 pips, right? So what's this range? This is a 25 pip range. 25 pip range, right? So if you keep a stop above this candle saying that, okay, we formed support, we've already broken down. So as long as price stays below this level, the next candle should continue moving down to support. When it comes down to support, you take profits and maybe let one run, and that gives you bonus pips to go down. Make sense? Makes sense. But it's the traffic we're also looking at too. Because you see this clean move up. So when you identify an area that's heading down, you see, okay, if we're going to head down, you constantly look left to see, okay, yeah, okay, maybe this candle here, this support, this is the area where candle might stop. And then this is the bonus move you get when you put stops at break even. But then if you are a trader that is trading off of support and you buy support, And then when you see this move down, you say, oh, this is a stop hunt. But if you're in sells, this isn't a stop hunt. So stop hunts are just excuses of losses, because there was no confirmation that we're going to move up. No confirmation on candles we're going to move up. Okay, go to the next example here. All right. So first of all, we have resistance up here, right? And then we have some sort of a support forming here on the daily. Are we going to see how many positions should we take on a trade? No. No, that's based on risk management. We're going to talk about that in the trading plan. How many positions and risk. So you have daily candles that start to go up. Now the daily candles are approaching resistance here. So I wouldn't want to take a trade at resistance unless we see a clean break up. We're waiting. Price is still ranging. Candle closed with no wick to the bottom. Next one went bullish, but we're still ranging. This price went down. We open, still ranging. Still ranging. Now we continue to move down. Right? So this here was no trade here. There was no trade in this case. My interception of candles with no wicks is I don't trust them. Because let's say if you have a candle and it only has a bottom wick and no top wick, I doubt it that it's going to continue to move up. Because if you look at, but this is a daily candle. Yeah, so candles move all the same way. 30-minute and upwards candles, they all respect the same dynamics. So it's the same thing. Because if you look on the daily candle here, this had no wick to the bottom. This had no wick to the bottom, which means it didn't really create a range for the next candle to go down. Because if you look at this candle here, it had a wick to the bottom. So it gave the next candle some range to fill, right? So that's how I look at it. What about bullish candles with no bottom wicks and vice versa? It depends on situation to situation. You know, it depends on situation to situation. Where's my razor? Because if we look at the current bullish candle, this has no wick to the bottom too, right? So it's heading up, right? So it depends what the candles are, what the time frames are saying, and then what the market is at that time. So since this is a daily candle, would you be out of the trade this whole time? No, this is just an example. This is just an example of consolidation. Yeah, this is just a example, like how he's like, if this was the 30-minute chart, this makes no sense to me. So I would stay out of this. So you always have to look at charts in that way. Like if you're looking at the daily and daily looks like this, so then you got to say, okay, if this was a 15-minute chart, I wouldn't really want to trade. So in the same way, if you are a swing trader and you're looking at this mess over here, you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, if this was a 15-minute or the 30-minute, I would stay out of it. So, you know, as a swing trader, you would basically stay out of this. You would wait for a clean breakdown and then take a sell. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's go to the next section here. Next section is, what do we got? We got continuation through zones, and then we got figure. All right, continuation through zones. Okay, so continuation happens when there's a lot of momentum in the market, right? When continuation is basically trend trading. Whenever price breaks through the zones, that means the price is trending. Makes sense? Because this is what's going to happen. when you have price moving up and it reaches a zone, right, it's going to start to consolidate. And then there's so much volume, there's so much bullish bias that's going to continue through the zone. So what we're going to look at is through continuation through zones is we're going to look at how to spot confirmations that it's going to continue moving up, right? So like again, normally continuations happen when there's a lot of volume in the market, basically when market opens or market closes, or when there's a lot of news, or when Trump says something, someone says that Theresa May is being sacked. So maybe that would also make market move. I know last year, a year and a half, when Kim Jong was dropping bombs, that was also making USDJPY move a lot in the Asian session. I remember that very nicely because I had a big buy open on UJ, and Kim Jong and blasted a bomb like over Japan, and the thing fell and stopped me out, and I lost a lot of money. So you know, so like that's how like you know some continuations happen too, with some news and emergency news. So we're going to go over some examples and continuation through zones. Oh, the music stopped. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Continuation through zones. All right. So what's happening here? We have support. Make sense? We have support. And then you had this candle break below, break this low over here. This was the most, this is the fresh low, right? This is the most recent low. So this would be something I would be personally looking at. It broke the fresh low, and then it broke this low here as well. So this candle closed below, right? So now what do? You wait for a retest, right? But sometimes, you know, what happens is the price does not come back for a retest. It just does not come back for a retest. It continues going. And I think this is what happens over here. Yeah, see, it continues to keep going. So now, when this happens, now I know like a lot of people, they get discouraged that, oh, you know, I missed this move. But what you got to realize is that this was the 1 hour zone. So no matter what happens, price has to come back to retest this area, or retest close to this area. Maybe there was a confirmation on the 15-minute, 30-minute. Yes, there was a confirmation, but we don't have the chart here now for simplicity, so we're only going to look over here. So now, check this out. So we have some sort of a bearish movement and bullish. So now, okay, check this out. So now, if you're only reading candles, okay, if you're only reading candles and you see that, okay, price over here, it started to go up, and then it formed resistance here. The reason I'm looking so closely at these candles is because this is the 1 hour time frame, right? And 1 hour time frame is very, very important. It's a very, very strong confirmation, and a lot of people don't look at the details on the 1 hour candles. It's very important you look at the details, because if you look at the details here, price started to go up, but look at the body of that bullish candle. It's so small, right? And then the next one rejected it, so it went down. So what happened? Price formed resistance on the 1 hour, and then somehow it broke resistance, and then it came to retest it, right? So when you had this bearish candle, it closed above this resistance it formed. Okay, it's very important you guys follow me here. And then you had the next candle that formed bullish, rejecting this area, right? So now two things happened. Price broke support, you know, came down, and now on the 1 hour you can see that it's trying to go back up because it's got to retest this area, right? So if you can have a stop below the 1 hour bullish candle, which is retesting this broken resistance, let's see what happens next. Starting to consolidate, goes up for retest. Break and retest, TP in last broken zone. Yeah, exactly. Alejandro, you're right. So now it came up for a retest. Okay, so now let's check this out. 12 a.m. This is 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Eastern, close to New York, right? And then we got close to Asian Open, right? We got close to Asian Open. Now we're looking at the candles. This candle closed below, this candle closed bearish, and now you have this 1 hour candle heading down. I think that day price did head down to this support area right around 146,600. Yeah, 4 hour retest. So on the 4 hour, this is going to be retest. On the daily candle, now the daily candle here would look something like this. Right? It's going to look something like this. Because this is a break, retest, and continue moving down. Right? Makes sense. So price broke this here again. It rejected it. So when price comes here again, it's going to reject it again and continue moving down. So when it continues to move down, you're constantly looking to see that, okay, how far will it move down? So you're constantly looking left. You're looking left. You see, aha, we have support right over here. So maybe this is a good area to maybe take profits and let one position run, anticipating that it might continue to move further down. Makes sense? Pace is good. Okay. Is there a certain amount of candles between the break and retest that you are looking for, like during the red big candle? During that big red candle, if it did retest, then would you take it right here? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't take it. Yeah, I'm probably won't gonna take it because if you look at the time is 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Eastern, and this is when my stream is off and I'm not trading anymore. So maybe this would be the trade I would take right here. You know, price form resistance, bearish. So maybe this would be the trade I take till this support. Are you waiting for the retest on the 1 hour or the 30 minute? 1 hour and the 30 minute, right? Because now you're looking at where the price is coming up for a retest, right here, and it's forming bearish candles. This means that now the candles are rejecting this area.